All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Lauren Leitner. I am the Intensive Services Manager with Omaha Housing Authority, and I work really closely with the case managers that are on site, connecting residents to resources and support through relocation. I thought since we have a smaller group today, if we want to go through and do introduction of team members and partners, we could do that too, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the presentation. And I kick it over to case managers with OHA, and then we'll go to HCV and then CVR.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dee Job, one of the case managers here at the Spencer location with Omaha Housing Authority.
Good afternoon, I'm Trey Bowden and I'm a case manager at Spencer with the Omaha Housing Authority as well.
Yeah. Can't get off video.
Periel.
Hello, sorry, I'm having computer difficulties. I'm Periel Jackson, the other intensive care caseworker.
So Periel's just new to the team. She was covering for Dupree, who left our team about 2 months ago. So she's been with us for almost 3 weeks now, and she will start outreaching to residents and working with those who were previously working with Dupree here next week. So we're excited to have her join the team. And then I'll go over to Rhonda with the Housing Choice Section 8 voucher program to introduce herself.
Hello, my name's Rhonda King. I'm the HCV manager with the Section 8 program.
Thanks, Rhonda. And then CVR team.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Cobb with CVR, and I work with Maria Harris, your relocation counselor.
Hi, guys. I'm Maria Harris. I'm the relocation counselor.
Yeah, we're happy to have that face back on and sharing with us and supporting residents. So residents, a lot of you know these faces and names from being engaged with relocation and case management over the last year and a half. So we're happy to have you and hopefully enjoy that you see some familiar faces. Today is meant to be just kind of a refresher, checking in with residents that are in the midst of relocation, answering some questions. We have a brief agenda that we put together to go over based off of some information that we're hearing kind of most commonly from residents, but really this is time for you to ask questions. If you have questions about relocation, the process, payments, things like that, we're here and available to meet with you at this time and provide that information for you. Just a couple housekeeping items. If you're joining us on Zoom, there is a chat function where you can type in a question if you have one while someone's presenting. Otherwise, please feel free to unmute yourself at any time and ask a question if you would like to do it that way. And then for those of us that are joining us on Facebook, if you put in a comment in the comment box, we'll bring that to the group and have the appropriate person answer that question as well. So want us to feel comfortable and as relaxed as format as it can be. So please know that we're here to support you as residents and answer any questions that you have. So please don't hesitate to reach out and share what questions you might have. So like I said, we just have kind of a brief agenda today. We're going to do an overview of timeline of what we're looking at as far as phases of projects being built and Spencer Homes demolition, things like that, just to kind of a refresher for that. We're going to talk about relocation preferences and those options and some updates related to those. We're also going to touch briefly on housing choice vouchers and answer questions about extensions of vouchers or missed appointments for voucher applications. And then Shannon's going to go over right to return. So talk about the rights that you have as a original Spencer Homes resident when looking at the property being rebuilt. And then just an overview of contact information for the team. So we'll jump into relocation, our timeline now. And I'm going to kick it over to Shannon.
Thanks, Lauren. I hope everybody's having a good day. We're going to talk about the relocation timeline, and we're getting a lot of questions from Spencer residents about what is my ultimate date that I need to be out of my unit. And I'm actually going to kind of jump to this middle column here. We're looking at May of 2022 is when the Spencer Homes demolition is going to occur. So what that means is that you will be issued 90-day notices in February of 2022. Hopefully everyone will be out by then and you will have secured your new home and you will be comfortable and all of this will be behind you and everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. But really we're looking at May of 2022 is the ultimate time that everyone will need to have moved from Spencer Homes. The Highlander, which is, there's three phases. There's the Overlook and Burdett, Overlook and Burdett and Wade. Those are going, the construction for that is going to begin in fall of 2021. So if anyone has the first preference to move to Highlander, you're going to need to go somewhere in between, because when the construction begins in the fall of this year, obviously it's going to take some time for it to be completed. So we're looking at spring of 2023 for Highlander to be completed. So since you have to be out in May of 2022, obviously you're going to need to go somewhere in between May of 2022 and spring of 2023 for Highlander, or if Highlander was your first preference. So that means that you could be offered a voucher or you could be offered a public housing unit. And we have reached out to all of the residents who have chosen Highlander as their first preference. I don't know if any of you are on this call, but if you've received a call from Maria and she's requested a call back, please get in touch with her so that she can work with you on what your options can be, whether it be receiving a voucher or going into a public housing unit. And then as you'll see on the last column, we're looking at winter of 2023 as the date that Kennedy Square will hopefully be completed. And we'll talk about right to return a little bit later. But Kennedy Square, which will replace the existing Spencer Homes community, we're looking at winter of 2023.
Thanks, Shannon. Did anyone have questions on timeline? Okay, we did have one question come in the chat, and we didn't have this specifically outlined on the agenda here. So if we want to cover this quickly, Maria, if you don't mind sharing, we had someone ask if funds for deposit are going to be covered when residents find new homes. And Maria, can you just answer that question and elaborate a little bit more on whether financial assistance residents are eligible for?
Sure. So the financial assistance that you guys are eligible for is we cover the application fees when you apply for a new unit. And then we also cover the security deposits. So as long as you guys are just kind of keeping in touch with me, letting me know when you're going on these showings, I can either be there for you, or I can always arrange to meet up with a property manager outside of you guys actually touring a property and doing your application to bring the check directly to them. So that's covered for you. And then aside from that, either in the process of moving yourself, or if you guys choose to go along with our movers, you can either get reimbursed for moving yourself up to 2 payments. And that's information that I go along with you guys during the relocation process, or our movers will move you and we cover all of those expenses. And then the last thing is your utilities. We do cover any activation fees or any deposits that the utility companies may require.
Thanks, Maria. I think the only thing to add to that is that we also have funds available if you need help with transportation. So if that's a barrier for you going to look at places and applying for apartments, we have an account where we can use, I think it's Uber or Lyft, one of the two, that we can use to help with you getting to a property to view it. So hopefully if there's any barriers that you have come up against, please talk with Maria and let her know so she can try and help find a solution for that, because we do have a lot of resources at our disposal to help with relocation. Thanks, Maria. Okay, so jumping to the next slide here. Talking about relocation preferences. One thing that we wanted to note is that until you've relocated, your relocation choice doesn't necessarily have to remain your original relocation choice. While we would like to have everyone's plan identified as early as possible, if you're having a hard time finding something on a voucher, or you've made a decision that financially it might not be a good fit for your family or anything related to that, you don't necessarily have to stick with your original choice. If you'd like to discover some other options and talk through what might be a better fit for you, Maria is available to meet with you and do that. When we started this project way back in the February of 2020, seems like a million years ago, if you'll remember, you met with Shannon and Cliff at the time to do an original relocation survey that kind of gave us some information on what you were looking for as far as moving, where you wanted to go, and gather that information. And then when Maria came on board, she reconfirmed with all of you residents on what you would like to choose. So I hope that you feel like you've had choice in the process of looking for where you want to go as far as relocation, whether it be permanent or temporary, as Spencer Homes was demolished. But just wanted to highlight the fact that if you're struggling or you're concerned about your choice, it doesn't have to remain permanent. So please know that we're here to talk with you about any choices that you want to make or explore. Any questions on that? I'm not seeing, I'm trying to check Facebook too. I'm not seeing anything over here. So go to the next slide. And I will turn it over to Rhonda with our HCV team to talk about housing choice vouchers.
Hello, everyone. For voucher extension, so if you are needing more time to look, we're happy to extend your time to look. Our vouchers are issued in 30-day increments. The initial voucher actually that you receive is for 60 days, but your extensions would be in 30-day increments. We just ask a voucher extension request needs to be submitted in writing. How you get, there's a form that you would complete. You can come into our office, contact your housing specialist to send you a form, or they're also online on our website. Status changes in your household composition and income. must be reported to the HCV team during your housing search. Those need to be reported within 10 business days of the date of the household change or income. If you've missed an appointment, residents that have missed the initial HCV appointments will receive a letter outlining the process for requesting another appointment.
Thanks, Rhonda. So we've had a few residents that have missed a couple. We've had some residents that have missed some of those initial appointments, so we're drafting letters to go out in the near future to explain the process for requesting an additional appointment. Those are just some of the basic questions that we've been getting about housing choice vouchers. Is there anything else that you as residents have questions about related to vouchers, obtaining a voucher? If you're in the process of looking for places, any questions you'd like to present to our team?
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, on June the 10th, 2021, I got approved for a Section 8 voucher, and on August the 3rd, 2021, I came down and did a voucher extension request, a tenant report of change, a certification of zero income, a authorization for release of information, and a memo to file. And since then, I haven't received any phone calls. I haven't received anything in the mail. And my housing specialist, Sophia Hall, and I've contacted her every day since August the 3rd, and she doesn't call me back, and I haven't heard anything. I don't know where they're going to put me or what's going on. I just wanted to get some answers. That's why I came on the meeting today.
Okay. Thanks, Nina.
So what I will do is actually you were supposed to, if you submitted it on August 3rd, you should have received a letter in the mail letting you know the status of your extension.
I have it.
Yeah, so I will speak with her in reference to that. And then as far as your phone calls or emails, you should have received a response, within 24 to 48 hours. Now, the only one I've
worked with was Stacy Abrams, I think is her name. Stacy down at the, she's in the compliance department, and she's the only one that's helped me with like the change of, like, my son lived with me, but he moved out August the 1st. So it's just me in the unit, and we were approved for a 2-bedroom. And now I should just have a 1-bedroom because it's just me in the house. Okay. So I'm thinking that's what might have held up everything, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything other than from Stacy.
Okay, so you already have a voucher and you're searching for a unit?
No, I stopped searching after my son moved out because I have no income. I just had his income and my child support, and that all got taken away. The child support got taken away. So I'm at 0 income right now.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'll do as far as the change, I can look at that, for you. But what would happen is you can still continue to search. What would happen is that may change your voucher size and the amount you qualify for.
Right.
But,
that's why I kind of held off because I didn't know how much to spend, because it's a lot higher with the voucher that I've got. So.
Okay. Yep. I will have her contact you, and then is your information up to date, ma'am?
Yes, everything is up to date. Yeah.
I'll have her.
I haven't had nothing from in the mail. I haven't got anything, and I'm like, what's going on? This is really weird that I don't, even get a letter in the mail.
Yeah, so you get a letter in the mail, and it would tell you the time frame that your voucher's been extended to. And then also changing your voucher size and the amount. So I'll have.
Okay, check on that.
I sure will. I'll have her contact you back.
Okay, thank you so much. I've been really worried about this.
Oh, no. I'm sorry about that delay.
Okay.
Thanks, Nina. And I also just want to mention that if you're ever having problems with contacting our team, you can always try and reach out to case managers and we can help make sure messages are received. And then specifically related to housing relocation, Maria is our person dedicated to making sure that all the information is up to date.
I reached out to Joe about it when Maria was on leave, and then I did reach out like through text messages to Maria. So, yeah. But everybody down at the housing authority at the main office, they all said to contact my specialist, my housing specialist, but I can't get a hold of nobody. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining. I'm glad that we were able to connect with you today.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyone else have questions about their voucher or the process in general?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Yes, I was wanting to find out because I had talked with Maria about my situation, and I was waiting to hear back from her to see what is going on, because I found the home and everything, but it was waiting for inspection, and I don't know what's the problem with between inspection and the home that I have found and so on. And I just want to make sure I don't end up losing the home that I have and so on. But Maria is helping me with that, and I just wanted to know to make sure I'm doing all the right things that I'm supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, so what Mr. Smith is referring to is he put in his raft of paperwork and he's been advised that the inspection should have went through the 8th or the 9th. And we were hoping to hear back from OHA if that had been completed or not, because we were hoping to schedule him for an upcoming move scheduled for next Tuesday. So I haven't heard back anything yet, Mr. Smith. Rhonda, I don't know if you have any information on if that inspection went through today, because we didn't hear back anything yesterday or today yet.
Yeah, so what happens with an inspection? So after the date it passes, it takes approximately 2 to 3 business days before they update it in the system. So I can check with the inspection department if they've updated it. If it passed, also the landlord knows that same day. But they don't, the inspection department is notified first, and then they input it in the system. And then that's when we're able to give you a response on it. So I can check on that and reply back to, who do you want me to send it to, yourself, Maria?
Yes, that's fine. And then I'll
Okay.
follow up with you, Mr. Smith, as soon as I get word from Ms. King, okay?
Thank you very much, Maria. And I'm just so confused with this. I hope I'm not a pain in the butt with anybody, but I'm just excited about moving into my new home, and hopefully real soon God will bless me with it. And thank you so much for your help.
Yeah.
No problem. You are not a pain. That's what we're all here for, is to help you guys get to your new place.
Yeah. And we understand that it's complicated and there's a lot of steps and there's waiting. So that's why we wanted to be here today to answer your questions, and also just know that we're available, and this is what our job is. This is why we're here. So please don't ever feel like you can't ask a question or ask for an update.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Anyone else have questions about housing choice voucher?
Yes. Is there anything that we need to know? Anything else that's important?
Did you have a question about anything that you were thinking about?
No, I'm just asking is there anything that we need to know that's important
For vouchers?
about moving?
Nothing's coming right to mind. Shannon or Maria, is there anything that you can think of that we haven't necessarily covered that we feel like is an important update?
The only thing that I can think of is if there's anybody that's new on here that may have received their vouchers like within the last week or so, to just reach out to me. I definitely try to make sure that I reach out to everybody on the day that they receive their vouchers. But essentially what I like to do is after you guys receive your vouchers, I meet up with you one-on-one. I go over all of your benefit information with you, necessary paperwork, and then I also distribute what we call the notice of eligibility. So that just gives us a chance to meet one-on-one, for you guys to know what I'm here to do for you and for you guys to ask any questions of me. And then I also distribute moving supplies. So Miss Lat, I'm not sure if you received your voucher or not, maybe when I was out. But if you haven't had that opportunity to meet with me yet, me and you can definitely arrange an appointment to meet one-on-one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Maria. I think the other thing that we have had come up is if you're moving in the middle of the month and how payments are coordinated for that. So once you have submitted your keys back to either Maria or Sarah Lynn, your property manager, that will be your official move out date. Your rent that you owe will be prorated, and then your new rental amount in your new place will be prorated as well. So I think if you're planning for move, move is coming up, just making sure that when you're moving out, if there's anything that's left in the apartments, even though we're doing a demo, if they have to be cleared before we have a demo company come in. So if you leave anything behind, you may receive some charges for having to clear out your apartments. So if you've seen before, I know some people may not have been super happy about them, but we have availability to get dumpsters and put them on site. If you're having a moving company help you move out, they can help get rid of your old furniture, even if you're not moving it. That's a request that they've been able to accommodate in the past. So that's one kind of financial component that isn't really, I think, covered as much, but I thought was important to mention. And then the other piece of that is just making sure that that when you move into your new location, that you'll have to be responsible for that month that you move in. So I know in your head, you're used to paying at the beginning of the month, but just want to make sure that financially you can plan to be able to pay your rental portion when you move in. Anyone else have anything that they wanted to go over?
I have a question again. Once we get moved into our new place and we're cleared from the Spencer units, our deposits that we paid at the beginning, does that just go over to the next place that we're going to live, or will they refund that to us, or what's the deal about that?
Sorry, that's refunded. That will be refunded to you.
I'm sorry, what?
That would be refunded.
Okay.
Your deposit back, that will go back to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Good questions. Anyone else?
I have a few things.
Go ahead, Treya.
So in regards to reimbursements, I also wanted to add that we also assist with fees for birth certificates and driver's licenses as well. And that's if you need that for relocation purposes. And then also, in case anyone doesn't know, to request the copy of your social security card, that is free. You can go on the website, or if that's something that you need assistance with, you can also always contact your case manager, and it's something that we can go over with as well, and we can assist you with requesting it. The turnaround with that, I've seen people get their social security cards and birth certificates in a matter of like 2 weeks. So just be sure that if you are behind in getting any documents to Section 8, that you let your worker for Section 8 know, and then you also let us know so that we know what it is that we need to be working with you Speaking of section 8, make sure that you are attending all of your appointments with them. If something has to be rescheduled, you need to be reaching out to them or your case manager if you can't get in contact with someone on the section 18, like right away, so that that is something that we can have rescheduled for you, or so that they aren't marking you down as a no-show. They are willing to reschedule appointments. You just have to be willing to make sure that you are reaching out with them and communicating with them when you need that to be done. With relocation and balances, regardless of where you're going, you need to make sure that you're clearing off your balance and paying your balance on time or your rent on time every month. If you have to mail your rent payment in, then you need to make sure that you're planning ahead and mailing off your payment so that it is received by property management by the 10th. I believe that they've been more lenient if it's postmarked or if the payment was scheduled to be sent before the 10th. They've actually been paying attention to that and still marking it on time. However, if you mailed it after that date, it is going to be marked as late and you will be charged a $25 late fee. If you didn't mail it on time, there's really nothing that we can do for you about the late fee. You have to pay it. Making sure that you're paying it so that the late fees are not adding up, because we get a lot of questions in regards to why balances are so high, and it's just because people aren't paying their late fees. So just pay attention to that as well. When it comes to not being able to pay your rent or it being late, or you have a question about like splitting up a payment or anything like that, make sure that you're reaching out to property management. Contact information as far as telephone numbers is still the same. The only thing that changed is we have a new property manager, which is Sarah Lynn. So she has a different email address, but if that's something that you need, you can always call or you can reach out to your case manager, and that's something we can provide you with. But you just want to make sure that you're reaching out to the right people in order to get the information that you need in a timely manner, and you're getting the correct information. Speaking of property management, make sure that if you have any issues with your unit, that you're reporting every single issue, no matter how minor you might think it is. Because if property management finds a certain issue that they feel like you're responsible for, they're going to charge you for that, regardless of if you're transferring to a new property. It will show up on your ledger. So if there is something that's wrong with your unit, contact property management, or rather put in a work order. I believe you can call them in. And so if you call it in, you leave a message, you're not able to get in contact with someone, let your case manager know so we can assist you with following up, because we want to make sure that you are taking care of any issues that you're having with your unit prior to you moving out, just so that you don't have any surprise charges or anything like that. And then just making sure that you are working with your case manager and CVR is really important that you do, because a lot of the questions that you have, we could probably answer it for you, or if you do need assistance, we are here to help you, but we need you to work with us. So if we're calling you or we're emailing you or we're texting you, it is for a reason. Just like you want to get out of here, we're trying to help you get out of here. So just make sure you're returning our phone calls, and emails, and texts. And keep in contact with us. I am happy to be working with all of you, and I hope that you are happy to be working with us. And we cannot wait for this to be over so everybody can be in their homes and be happy. So I hope you guys are happy with the work that we've been doing. And then just make sure that you're reaching out to us. And if there's anything that we can help you with, we will.
Thank you, Treya. That was a lot of really helpful information. I appreciate you summarizing it. I think one thing to add to is after you move, you are still eligible to receive help and services from case managers. We're now working on, go ahead. Sorry, I thought there was someone that had a question. So even though you're not going to be living at Spencer anymore, that doesn't mean that you're not eligible for any of the support and resources that we're working on. We're starting to bring in partners on board to work really closely with you. They understand that you're not going to be living on site, and they're able to meet you where you're at. So just wanted to mention that even though you're relocating, that doesn't mean any of the assistance and support that we provide will end. So I think while you're in the housing search process and the relocation process, a lot of the work that you do is with Maria, but just knowing that once you move, your case manager is still available to you. They'll be checking in with you, going to see your new place if you want, and comfortable with them coming there, making sure that everything is good with your new property manager, and you know where to pay your rent and when it's due and all of that stuff. So we just want to make sure that you know that we're a supportive service that's going to follow you throughout relocation. And we're going to be here through the end of the grant in 2025. So just wanted to mention that as well. Great questions, good conversation. Thank you everyone for being willing to ask questions and share. I'm going to move on to the next slide now. So right to return, I'm going to turn it back over to Shannon to talk about right to return.
So right to return applies to all original Spencer residents who moved in good standing. And what that means is that because you lived on site at the time that the CNI or Choice Neighborhood Implementation Grant was awarded to the Omaha Housing Authority, because you lived there on the date the grant was awarded, you are eligible to return to what will be called Kennedy Square. So as long as you left in good standing, meaning you didn't have a balance owed, you were not evicted, you were in compliance with your lease, you will have the right to return. And the other important thing to mention is when you move to your new home, either if it's another public housing unit or you move with a voucher, before Kennedy Square is rebuilt, you also need to stay in compliance with your lease at that place as well. So make sure that you're doing the best you can do to stay in compliance. And like Lauren said, once you move from Spencer into your new home, if you run into any barriers, let your case manager know. That would be specifically your case manager, not Maria, just to differentiate. Maria is helping you through this relocation process from your current unit and helping you pay your relocation benefits and things like that. Once you move to your new home, if you come across any barriers, you're going to want to reach out to your case manager if you need any assistance. And then in winter of 2023, when Kennedy Square is completed, everyone who has remained in compliance will receive a notice that it's time to move back. And would you like to move back? So you'll have the option to move back to Kennedy Square, or you can just say, no, I'd like to keep the voucher, or I'd like to stay in the public housing unit that I moved to. We never know what our life changes are going to be, 2 years from now. So, but you will receive notice that Kennedy Square is completed and it's time to move back. And then if you decide to move back to Kennedy Square and you're eligible because you've stayed in compliance with your lease and have the right to return, Maria would help you with the relocation back to Kennedy Square. So that's kind of a high-level summary of what your right to return is.
Thank you, Shannon. Anyone have questions about that?
Yeah, this is due, Shannon. I have a question about, you talk about the income eligibility. What about those who have zero income right now and they leave here at the dispensary and they have the right to come back? What's going to happen to them if they don't have income?
Income eligibility pertains to if you have income. And if you may have too much income to be eligible to lease up at the property. And we don't know what those limits are going to be for winter of 2023 at this time, but we will look at each family on an individual basis to review their income and determine that they are income eligible. If you have no income, well, That's a great question, Dio. Don't confuse zero income with income eligibility. It's kind of the opposite. It's more, if you have zero income, you probably would be income eligible. If you have a very high income, if you've gotten pay raises or a new job where you're making a very good salary and it puts you over the 80% income limit, I believe we'd be working with 80%. But we can get further clarification on that. It may put you over the threshold of being eligible for the Kennedy Square community.
That's a good question. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions about right to return? We are meeting with our developer team, Brinshore, next week to go over final plans for what Kennedy Square, which is redeveloped Spencer Homes, is going to look like. And then they would like to have a resident meeting for you guys to have an opportunity to see what the new site is going to look like and solicit some feedback from you on what you like and what you don't like. So look out for an invitation for that meeting to be coming along. We're also going to work to make sure that we can get access to computers in the Learning Center if technology is a barrier for you to join a meeting. I know with COVID, it's still so hard to try and make sure everyone is welcome and able to join if technology has been a challenge for you. So we'll be working on that between now and our next meeting as well. So then that's kind of it for our presentation. Here's our contact information if you have questions. If you have been a little bit out of the loop and you're not even sure who your case manager is, that's okay. Just reach out to anyone and they can look up and get you connected to the right person. Periel, like I mentioned at the very beginning, is new. She's still waiting on getting a phone, so you can shoot her an email or you could call Dee or Treya and try and get in touch with Periel if you need to, and we'll make sure to send out her phone number as soon as she gets her cell phone. She will start contacting residents that we're working with Dupree, like I said before, beginning next week to make connections and touch base on it, how everything's going for you and your family. And then Maria's contact information is there as well. She does come on site for appointments. You can contact her if you need to schedule an appointment and like to meet with her in person. And then if you need help getting in contact with HCV, you can reach out to your case manager and they can let you know who your HCV support person is and get you in contact with them. So that's all I had for today. Thank you everyone for joining. This is the biggest participation we've had from Spencer residents so far. So I'm really happy to see you here. I hope you feel like this was supportive. We are looking forward to bringing more information to you in the near future. And like I said, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and just hold the meeting for a minute or two if anyone has any last questions, but if not, please feel free to sign off, and thank you so much for being here.